This week's card was to use a flourish stamp set, and I'm using Baroque motifs. I start off with a very vanilla base, and I'm using a smaller piece of mellow moss cardstock. I cut it just a fraction smaller, sticking that to the base, and then a piece of pale plum, and both those colors are from the Soft Subtles, and I stick that down with the snail adhesive onto the mellow moss. And then I'm using rose red, and I'm using a stamping spot, and they are too easy to ink your big stamps with. The large flourish from Baroque motifs, and then I'm stamping that onto another piece of very vanilla card. Once that's stamped, I've trimmed it down with the paper trimmer, which is the easiest one to use. I just love it. And I had to cut off a little bit of the design, but it doesn't actually affect the image. I still think the card is stunning. Trim that down, and once you're happy with the size of it, that you're sure it's going to fit onto the pale plum card, I've got the little flower from Baroque motifs, and I'm using the stamping spot again, and I'm stamping it 3 times onto the image. Now you can stamp that onto another piece of card and cut it out and pop it out, but I just stamped it straight on there. I think it looks fantastic. And always do things in odd numbers on your cards and your layouts, never even numbers. So I did 3 flowers. Sticking that down with snail adhesive, and then onto the pale plum card. Once you've stuck that down, then you're going to make a scallop strip. So you've got a piece of pale plum card, and you put that into the scallop edge punch and punch that out once, and when you put it in, it will stop. There's like a little notch on the punch. So you punch it out once, and then you move the cardstock down, and you line up the punches that you've already punched out with the markings on the actual punch. And if it lines up perfectly, you punch again, and your scallop will be absolutely perfect. So you do the one side, and then you just turn the piece of card and do the other side. And it honestly could not be easier. I think it's a lot easier than using scissors. Once you've got your scallop bit, then you cut a piece of the mellow moss ribbon, and you can see how I'm using snail adhesive to stick the ribbon down as well. It's just perfect. You just run the snail down the ribbon, too easy, and stick that onto a strip of rose red card, and then just fold the ribbon at the back, and that will give you a really nice edge. It's not frayed at all. And then you stick that onto the scallop. And then what I did was stamped the words from Warm Words onto very vanilla card with the rose red ink, and I punched that out using the designer label punch. And something went wrong with the video, so we couldn't actually film that bit. But then you get your sponge, ink that with the rose red ink, and just brush it around the edge and stick that down onto your card. And I think it's absolutely exquisite, and my new cameraman did a great job. Thank you.